Let the universe howl in despair, for I have returned. Hello heroes and villains, welcome to Multiverse. So, a long overdue video. Today we will take a look at our friend Darkseid. So let's get this party started. So let us start with what I think is the closest version of the classic Darkseid as I was able to come up with. Sadly, in order to be able to recreate this version, you will need the blue metallic material. We'll take a quick look at the broker in just a minute. I don't think you can get it anymore, but I could be mistaken. So for the headpiece, I'm using the Sector 3601, the Manhunter headpiece. With the Manhunter headpiece, you cannot use a face piece, so don't even try. For the shoulders, that's the Apocalypsean shoulder guards. For the back piece, I'm using the Enhanced Speed Force, just to give a bit of crackling energy to our evil Darkseid. For the chest piece, I went with the Archer chest piece, but there's a whole bunch of chest piece that could do the trick. Basically, you need a chest piece that doesn't have any sleeves. It's that simple. For the hands, I'm using the Retro Tech. Sadly, there's some built-in texture into the hands, but seeing how I'm using the material, it doesn't really matter. For the waist, I'm using the Fourth World. For the pants, I'm using the brief so that we can see some skins with our Darkseid friend, so we can see the Rocky skin. I guess you could go with someone like Egyptian or Progeny of Darkseid if you don't want to use the briefs. Personally, I kind of like the brief, so here we go. And for the boots, I'm using the Brainiac Invader boots. Something like the tall trim might be a bit more accurate, but the big character model in DC Universe 9 has some sort of chicken legs. Like the legs are very tiny for the character, so I kind of like to use some bulky boots to give some weight to the character. So in this case, I went with the Brainiac Invader instead. For the aura, I'm using the Cosmic Aura, but there's a whole bunch of, you could use some dark blue aura. The blue plasmic aura would work well. But I kind of like the Cosmic, so that's what I went with. For the accessory, again, I'm using the Speed Force Conduit to give a bit of a crackling energy to our Darkseid friend. Although a better option might be the Omega Face Shield. Like right now, we get the double currency this week with the Wonderverse DLC, and that's the currency you need to be able to get this face shield. I'll go take a look at the vendor in just a minute, but basically the reason why I'm making this video today is so that if you guys want to have the face shield, this week will be a good opportunity to be able to get it. The same will be true with the Omega Uplink device. Let's show off the Uplink device because why not? So you can see it's a really nice uplink device that creates an Omega emblem as you use it. And for the skin, I'm using the Rock skin. That's how I'm able also to get the glowing eyes. Like, let me show you. If I try to use, let's say, the human skin. So if you use the human skin with the emissive eyes, it doesn't work. The emissive eyes do not work with the headpiece. So the workaround for that is to use another skin, like the Rock skin. And of course, as I mentioned early on, the blue metallic material. If you don't have the material, you can still recreate that look, but let me show you why I use the material. Other than because it looks awesome. So if you don't use the material, you can still recreate the look. Sadly, you can see like there's some built-in texture in the shoulders, which makes it a bit of different colors. There's some built-in texture into the gloves. So using the material kind of makes sure that the character is pretty much the same shade of blue all over. So I kind of like to use the material, but obviously if it's not an option, you don't have to. So let's take a quick look at the broker. And sadly, if we look at the broker, the blue metallic material is not available at this point. So if we go to the Wonderverse open world map, you can see the Wonderverse Supply Bot Alpha. So that is where you can get the Omega Face Shield for 150 Splinter Coins. And the Face Shield is account bound, so you can decide to buy it with one character and trade it to another one of your character if you wanted to. And there's also the Apocalypsean Amazon Aura that you could use. It costs 150 Splinter Coins, but as you can see, I did not purchase it with this character. But it could be an option to get a cool aura for your Darkseid character. But also I didn't get the Apocalypsean Amazon Aura because I'm using the Cosmic Aura with this armory. And you can see the armory behind me, I'm using the Scorching Aura. So I guess I could have in one armory with the Apocalypsean Amazon Aura. I'll have to give it some thoughts. For the Orbital Strike, you will have to check with your friend Equipment Specialist Cassandra. So here you can see the Omega Uplink device for 350 Empyrean Ether. For the Empyrean Ether, you are going to have to play the Wonderverse bounties in the Wonderverse open world. And this week will be a perfect time to play those bounties over and over. A lot of people are playing those bounties this week because of the double currency. Oh, and I almost forgot, with your Darkseid character, you have to give him skimming. You have no choice. You have to. Yeah, I know technically Darkseid doesn't really use a skimming. It's something more that goes more with Mr. Miracle. But in this case, I think it would be a really good idea to use a skimming as opposed to flying. Or even better yet, as opposed to Acrobat. Technically Darkseid doesn't fly, so Acrobat would probably make more sense. But you could use a skimming gadget like our friend Mr. Miracle to bypass the fact that he does not fly. And one of the versions I kind of like to use is what I call my Cosmic Darkseid. Basically, I'm using pretty much all the same styles, but with the Cosmic skin. The one distinction might be the belt. I'll show you the belt in just a second, and of course the Omega emblem. Sadly, the Cosmic skin, the Cosmic material, no longer available in the game at this point. You could try to get it, I guess, from the trade chat, but you'll have to buy it for like 20 billions or something like that. And yeah, I truly mean billions with a B. It's a material that we had years and years ago, and at this point, it's very, very difficult to get. And if you manage to find someone who's willing to sell it to you, it will be very, very expensive. For the belt, I'm using the Apocalypsean Amazon, just to have the nice Omega emblem that's on the belt. And I'm using the Omega emblem, or the enhanced version of the Omega emblem. There's two ways to be able to get the emblem. The first way is to simply buy it from the broker. As you can see right now, it's 150,000. If you are a legendary player, there's no reason that you cannot purchase it. The other option would be to play the Legion bounties over and over and over until you get lucky enough to get it as a random drop. Although the emblems drop frequently enough, so you should be able to get it just farming the bounties. Although if for some reason you don't want to farm the bounties or you don't have the time to farm the bounties, as you saw, you can buy it from the broker easily enough. And of course, I'm using the Scorching Aura, which will be a bit challenging to get at this point. You could get the modular version of the Scorching Aura from the Quarks vendor. That would be a lot easier to be able to get it. But if you do want the actual Scorching Aura, you will have to try to buy it from the broker. It would seem you can still get it from the broker, but as you can see, 549 million. It is a pretty expensive aura at this point. It's a very popular aura, so it's no surprise if the price is that high. I have to give my usual broker warning. Prices on the broker changes all the time. These are the prices on the broker right now. Tomorrow, next week, next month, like later tonight, the prices could be different. So obviously, if the Cosmic material is not an option, a good option would be the Blue Vinyl Neon Chrome material. The material does give a cool look for our Darkseid character. I kinda like it. I'm gonna have to tweak one of my armories and add this look. Another material that I did kinda like was the Chromatic Amber. Sadly, it's a material that was available only during a survival mode, so you're gonna have to wait until the next survival mode before you can actually purchase it again. But I really liked the look it gives to our Darkseid character. And I kept it blue because technically the Darkseid, the color scheme for Darkseid is blue. But let's see what happens if we turn it red. So if we turn it red, we kind of turn it into the Darkseid version in the Zack Snyder Justice League. And I think it looks pretty cool with our Darkseid friend. Although there is an alternative if you do not have that material. If you do not have the Chromatic Amber at this point, there is an option you could use instead. You could use the Amber material. It's also a material that came from a survival mode, but in this case, you can actually purchase the material from the broker. We'll take a look at the broker in just a minute. The only drawback is that it is color locked, so you cannot change the color of this material. And the color is more orange than red, but it still works well enough on our Darkseid. A little too close to our friend, I guess. So it still works well enough with our Darkseid character. especially if you want to create the Zack Snyder version of Darkseid. So you can still get the material for 175 millions. But as time goes by, the price will go up and up. Sadly, it's a material that technically is no longer available in the game. So the only place where you can get it is on the broker. And as time goes by, sadly, there will be less and less of that material for sale on the broker. So the price will go up and up. So I know that 175 million may seem like a lot of money. But at this point, I would say it's pretty cheap for a material that at some point you may not be able to get anymore. And speaking of the Zack Snyder Justice League, you could tweak the look a little bit to get a bit closer to our friend Zack Snyder's Darkseid. Although I'll show it without the material. In this case, strangely enough, the material is probably a bit counterproductive. Might be a bit better to use it without the material. Let's find out. So this might be a bit closer to the Justice League Darkseid. Again, I'm trying to use some bulky boots because sadly, the character model has pretty much some chicken legs. So I'm trying to give a bit more weight to the character by using some bulky boots. Let's take a look at what we're using. So for the headpiece in this case, I'm using the Combat Protocol. It seems to be a popular choice with a lot of people to recreate our friend Darkseid. Basically, this is the Oracle headpiece, but yeah, it kind of works to create our friend Darkseid. Still using the same shoulders, but the chest piece is the Angelic chest piece. But there's probably again a handful of chest pieces that could be used. Pretty much any chest piece without sleeves would probably do the trick. But here it gives us an armored look. In the Zack Snyder Justice League movie, Darkseid does have some sort of armor, and I thought this was close enough to the look. For the gloves, I'm using the Zone Walker. Again, I wanted to have some big bulky gloves, and these do the trick well enough. And the boots, again, in order to be able to get some big boots, I went with the Star X boots. It's not exactly it. I wish we could get some bigger boots, but sadly, sometimes within the context of this universe online, you do what you can with what you have, and you hope it'll be enough. And again, it would be tempting to go with something like the Apocalypsean Amazon Aura. Here I'm using the version for the head, the hands, and the feet. Although the Aura works well enough, I should probably purchase the full version of the Apocalypsean Amazon Aura this weekend. I'll have to give it some thoughts. So we do have some good options to recreate a Darkseid type character. And if you're wondering about the lair, basically I'm using the lava lair. It's the closest I could think to use to recreate sort of a lair that would be on Apocalypse, like you can see with all the lava flowing behind us. It's almost as if our lair was right into one of the fire pits of Apocalypse. And for some of the base items, these are base items that come from survival mode. So you can see a nice screen with what seems to be a shadowy version of our friend Darkseid. There's a few nice consoles, a nice torture table. Although ironically enough, I did not get that many base items for this character. But if we go to our League Hall, I might be able to show off a few more. We were able to get some Apocalypse cannons in one of the DLC. Here's one of the consoles again. So you can see a few of the little, I guess, screens on the walls. And here there's a whole bunch of, again, some more screens, some more consoles, some more devices. A lot of millions were spent to purchase those items from the broker. Here we have the Moebius chair. So if you want to have a lair that kind of looks like it's from Apocalypse, using some of those consoles could be a nice bit to use. Although that might be a bit pricey at this point. We'll go take a look at the broker in just a minute. But basically, if you're wondering, I know that often I look like I'm broke, and very often I am. It's because I spend too much. At some point, I was spending my cash as quickly as I was earning it. Basically, as soon as I would earn enough cash to be able to purchase, let's say, one of those consoles or one of those screens on the walls, I would just buy it. So a lot of millions have been spent purchasing those items way back when. And then eventually they came back in the latest survival mode. So you could decide to buy them using actual cash as opposed to farming for cash in this Universe Online. I assume those items will come back in the next survival mode, but last time it took 2 years before we got another survival mode. So you may have to wait at least a year, if not 2, before you can purchase those from survival mode. So sadly right now, the only option really to be able to get those items is to just buy them from the broker. You're gonna have to bite the bullet, play the broker game, and purchase those items from the broker. In some cases, they're not that expensive. You can see the energy monitors. You can get them for a bit less than 2 million. I love those monitors. These are pretty awesome. I have to admit, I'm pretty tempted to buy a few right now. So here we have the Apocalypse Exam Device. This one, as you saw, is a bit more pricey. Over 7 million. Here we have the Logistic Terminals at 2 million. I'm very tempted to purchase that one. I love those terminals. So here we have the propaganda screen. That's a really nice looking screen. But as you can see, it starts to get a bit more pricey, 30 million. Oh, we can get one for 20 million. I know that 20 million may seem like a lot of money, but right now that seems to be a good, pretty much a bargain. And here we have the Apocalypse Status Monitor. That's a nice enough monitor. Oh, 1 million. Very tempting again to get that one. We have the Apocalypsean wall lights. 700,000. These are nice little lights. And here you can see some of the Apocalypsean's aura. So there's the modular versions. And let's see if they have the full. And nah, they don't have the full version, sadly. We have the Apocalypsean cannon, about almost 40 million. That's a nice cannon. You saw it in the lair. And there's also Granny's special monitor. Ooh, 3 million. Maybe I should buy that. So that is the monitor where you see Darkseid in the shadows, like as a silhouette. It's a really cool looking monitor. After way back when, I had to spend a lot more than 3 million to get that. I can tell you that. And you can see right now the price started at almost 13 million. But someone came and undercut them for 3 million. And there is one more thing that you may need to complete your Darkseid character. You may need a mother box. There's a mother box and a father box. Sadly with this character I only have the mother box, but they are similar enough. Basically the father box is red with a bit of a different pattern on the box. So if you want to have a Darkseid character, you need at least one of those boxes. Whether it's a mother box or the father box, doesn't really matter. There's some people who think that the mother box is stronger. Some people think the father box is stronger, is more powerful. They're both tier 1 pets at this point, so they should pretty much do the same damage. Like if you look at your mother box, the mother box is a tier 1 pet. These are the sadly lowest level pets. And all the tier 1 pets should pretty much do the same damage. The mother box used to drop from Orion, but I haven't seen Orion drop a mother box in months and months and months. Like 10 months. So I don't think Orion drops the mother box anymore, but I could be wrong. If some of you guys did get the mother box recently, tell me so in the comment section down below. But here you can see you can purchase the mother box for pretty cheap at the broker at this point. 7.4 million. Yeah, I would buy it at that price. For a while, the price for the mother box would go up and up and up. But ever since the mother box have been flagged as a tier 1 pet, as you can see the price did drop quite a bit. For some reason, the price for the father box is a bit more expensive, so here you can see it for 45 million at the cheapest. Sadly, I won't be able to show it to you. I have videos about the mother box and the father box. I'll put those videos, I'll put a link to those videos in the description down below. Again, you may have to come and see your friend Equipment Specialist Cassandra. So you can see Cassandra is selling the father box and the mother box for 500 Amperna Ether each. So again, this week, seeing how we're getting double the currency, it might be a good time to be able to get those mother boxes. So if you want to create the evil Darkseid, you will need a box. Whether a mother box or a father box, doesn't really matter. But you will need a box. You have to, you have no choice. So if you ever wanted to recreate our friend Darkseid, you do have a few options in order to be able to do so. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask so in the comment section down below, and I'll see what I can do about answering your questions. I have roughly 2,000 videos about this Universe Online at this point, so if I don't answer your question right away, just search in my videos. Odds are I already made a video that answers your question. Or click one of the videos that you see on your screen right now. Bye-bye.